Alright, so today's video is about, well, it's a little bit of a review. Not really, because I'm not going to spoil anything about the film. But I was went to go see that My Hero Academia film, the Your Next movie. And about halfway through the movie, I started having this realization slash like no duh moment. And it just really got me to thinking, like, okay, is this film good? Is it bad? Is the pacing off? And it made me kind of realize that I've become my own worst enemy when it comes to enjoying media. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mess with toys and talk about the movie. We're gonna talk about a little bit of, again, what I said here is you're gonna get a little bit of life. You're gonna get some toys. You're gonna get hopefully some funny moments. I kind of do these in one go. So if I mess up, I start all the way over. No editing in this dojo. So here we go. I'm going to talk about this My Hero Academia movie. I know I got Goku right here. But like I said, today we're just talking about the film, life, and I'm going to mess with some toys. So here we go. So, like I said, about halfway through the film, I just kind of had this realization that this movie isn't really made with me in mind. And what I mean by made with me in mind, is this movie made for an 32-year-old male, as if that even matters, but we live in that time and age. Does that even matter? And I said, you know what? It's not. It really isn't. And it made me think about Dragon Ball Z. It made me think about running home after school. Trying to catch the episode before it went off. And was that made for me as a kid? And honestly, I'm gonna say, yeah, it was made for me as a kid at that time. Teenagers, tweens, whatever. But I think that as an adult, we've gotten way too critical of everything. And now we put everything under the same lens and we don't consider nuance. All right, Goku, there you go. You want to stand for me? Got the little thing back here. I'm going to move it though. So, yeah, it just made me kind of realize, like, hey, we kind of ruin media for ourselves at times. And that's not to make an excuse and say that, not everything isn't bad, because, yeah, Star Wars sequel trilogy happened. So we're not going to act like that didn't happen. But it just made me really sit back and wonder, like, am I really about to ruin this film because it's not doing what I think it should be doing? And when I changed my mindset a little bit about, like I said, about halfway through the film, I realized, you know what? If I was a kid and I was watching this movie, I would love this movie. I would probably watch this movie 300 times. Some of the animation in the movie is really, really good. Yeah, I'm not going to be changing any hands here, so this is just me doing different little poses here and there. But if I can get them to stand, because when you're working behind the camera, for some reason the force does not want you to stand your figures up. But yeah, it really got me to thinking. I said, this is a good movie for a kid, for a tween. And Naruto decided to say no, and he fell. So, yeah. was your moment. It happened. You went from Naruto falling to the entire camera falling. And that's okay, because like I said, moments are going to happen here. So anyway, you maybe got a glimpse of some other things going on. Yeah, I'm in the process of moving things out, getting rid of some things. Because, like I said in the caption of this video, you got older and things change. And some of those things that change is your interests and your, the things that you want to collect, for example. And, your hobby changes. It evolves. You go from walking down Walmart aisles and buying, for those of you that remember this, the Bandai America toys and, whatever Hasbro's putting out at the time and Mattel and, and then next thing you know, those toys aren't palatable to you anymore. And now you like something like this. Something like an SH Figuart. Again, you got older, things changed, You went from being okay with, basic articulation to not being okay with basic articulation. And going back to the film, I kind of realized that it's kind of the same thing. Like, if I was going to be hypercritical to that movie, right? This is the amazing Yamaguchi Deku. But if I was going to be that hypercritical to that film, I would have to really reach back and go back into everything. Every movie I ever watched, every show. And if I was to scrutinize everything that I've ever seen, I probably wouldn't enjoy anything. Because not everything is going to live up to your expectations. Like, some people don't like Amazing Yamaguchi. They say it's too much. They feel like this level of articulation is just too much to bear. It's overwhelming, but got a little bit of a QC issue on mine. Mind you, I was one of the lucky few that got an original, so probably could stand to buy a reissue. I probably will, because, never hurts. But anyway, yeah, if I can get them to stand. Yeah, that's one of the issues with these figures. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. We're talking about your movie, guy. My guy Deku. We're talking about your movie. But I want to say this too. It's not actually his movie. It's a movie that showcases everybody. Because in that moment when All Might says, he turns back around and he points and he says, basically you're next. He wasn't just talking to Deku. He was talking to everybody. And that moment really kind of hit me in the feels a little bit, because it made me realize, like, we're always being individualistic, right? Like, when you're watching Dragon Ball Z, let's be honest, you're always waiting on this guy. You're always waiting on Goku to come save the day. If you're watching Naruto, you're always waiting on this guy to come save the day. He's going to do something crazy. But very rarely do you see a show showcase other characters and let them have, move Deku out the way, let them have their moment, like, and I think My Hero Academia handles that really, really well. Like, this character here, Shoto, like, when you look into, like, his character within the show, he is, man, like, I think a lot of people could probably relate to this character in a platitude of ways. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you're one of those kids that grew up without a dad or whatnot, yeah, like, not that he didn't grow up without one, it's just the one that he got. And I'm pretty sure some people could relate to that. It's a lot of relatability in My Hero Academia. And I know a lot of people like to relate themselves to Goku, but if I'm just being honest, I think that's more of a fantasy than it is reality. Talk about a little bit of Demon Slayer here. Look at this. People, I've seen it all on the internet. People love to hate Demon Slayer for whatever reason, but let's be honest. If Demon Slayer was one of those shows that came on when Avatar: The Last Airbender was on, and you name it, Dexter's Laboratory, I'm a '90s kid, so I can reach back. Samurai Jack, the whole lineup. Screw it. I don't have to name every individual thing. Just the whole lineup. The golden age of cartoons. Hot take, I know, but this show is fine. Like if we're gonna if I'm going to heavily scrutinize every show, then I hate to break it to you, but most of those shows had a lot of bad moments, a lot of bad writing, a lot of things that did not make sense. And I'm not saying that you're not right to call those things out, because you should, but to act as if one is just so horrible, one is just so egregious that it just needs to go away. It needs to be wiped off from the face of the earth. I hate to say this, but you sound ridiculous. And yes, I'm talking to all of the older fellas out there, even some of the younger people who are getting into their early 20s, late 20s. When you're making videos talking about how bad something is, I want you to do the same thing for something you really, really like. Because if there's something that you really, really like and you can't talk about how bad it is, that means that you're biased. That's what that means. Because there's no way something is good all of the time. That's just impossible. There's going to be times where something isn't so good, even though it's something you love. And I'm going to break the barrier right here. It's going to annoy some folks, possibly. Uh-oh. Did I just bring out a McFarlane? Why did you bring out this McFarlane? Nah, I just brought him out just because I think he looks good. I mean, if I wanted a figure just to stand here and look like this, he looks fine. But like I said, I know it seems like I'm rambling, but there's a point to all of this. And again, these are just thoughts that I had after watching the film, right? You have to be fair. You have to center yourself when you're going to watch anything or you're going to read something. For those of you that still read books, I know that's taboo these days. You have to go into things with a fresh slate and try to understand what the artist was trying to convey and not what you want the artist to convey. Let them tell the story. Let the story finish. If you're halfway through it and you're like, you know what, this really ain't for me, walk away from it. It's not the end of the world. There's something else that you can look at. There's something else that you could play with. There's something else you could collect. You can do both. Look at that. SH Figuarts and McFarlane. Oh my God, they're in the same frame. You don't have to marry any one thing. Here's something. He's huge. But whatever. He was also McFarlane, and it sucks that line ended, because I think that line was actually pretty decent. It was getting better, but it is what it is, right? All things come to an end. And this is going to segue into you're getting older. You're getting older. I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. You can't expect things to always be the way you want it. That's just unrealistic. There's going to be times where something or someone is going to do something you don't really like, and that's okay. I don't know why we have to fight and argue and bicker, and I'm gonna make a Reddit post about this, and then I'm gonna make a 45-minute YouTube video about why I hate McFarlane, or why I hate Demon Slayer, or My Hero Academia sucks. Like, okay, cool story. Like, tell me something that doesn't suck. You're going to get 1,000 people that are going to tell you how much they love Attack on Titan. But guess what? I don't. Attack on Titan is not a good show to me. But do I feel the need to make a video about it? Do I need to make a Reddit post about it? Do I need to make a blog? No. It's okay that I don't like it. Guess what? There's thousands of other animes out there. Thousands of other mangas out there. I don't have to be married to any one thing. But people feel as if everything has to be tailored to them. And that's just entitlement. You didn't like McFarlane's My Hero line? Okay, that's cool. You don't have to. I did, but apparently I wasn't the majority in that case. So it's gone. It is what it is. Moving on. It's now he has this. It kind of is what it is, right? So my thoughts on the My Hero Academia film, I give it an 8 out of 10 for just being entertaining. If I was gonna, heavily criticize it and talk about the story and some of the plot elements, okay, I would knock it down to about a 7. A 7, maybe a 6.5 if I just want to be uber critical. But the movie is just fun. It's a movie. You go, you see it, you watch it. You're watching it for the action. You're not really watching it for the plot because you don't have to watch this film. It does nothing for the story overall. It's a huge nothing burger for the story overall. You can skip this film and not miss anything. As a matter of fact, this is the one spoiler I will give. Spoiler alert. If you stay to the end and watch the end credits, you're going to see a scene that is already playing out in the show. It doesn't even matter. Obviously, this movie was supposed to come out before this recent season came out, but it didn't, right? So again, if you're going to go watch the film, go watch it. Sit back, enjoy it, take your kids if they're interested. But don't go in there with this mindset that you're about to go in here and see a masterpiece. You're about to see the best film since Godzilla -1. Don't do that to yourself, because you're not going to do anything but disappoint yourself. That's all you're going to do. You're going to disappoint yourself. You're going to make yourself angry because you're trying to place a type of responsibility on something that, let's just be honest, it has no intention of trying to be that. If it did, great, whatever, but that's clearly not the intention, So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that particular subject. Again, you're getting older. Your things that you like are going to change. The things that you want to see are going to change, But just because those things change, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's not bad just because it changed. And I think that people have to really get out of this attitude of everything having to be the way I want it or it's bad. We're if you're one of those people that like to call out every kid for doing that, for saying those type of things, then pot calling the kettle black, right? Like you gotta kind of, if you want these kids to wise up, and they will eventually. Some things that they like right now that they're fighting tooth and nail for, they're probably not going to care about it in 20 years. They're going to look back and be like, oh my God, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why did I watch that? Why did I love this so much? And guess what? They're going to be the new 40-year-olds, the new 30-year-olds. And they're going to have retrospects, and they're going to be looking back, and they're going to be like, oh, well, turns out I don't have to like all these things because I'm told to like them. You know, I can like things that I wasn't told to like. What do you know? So, yeah, I'm going to end this video with that thought. Like I said, I know I rambled, but that was the point. It's a discussion. It's not just about the movie. These thoughts after the movie. So, if you're a My Hero fan, go check it out. I honestly don't see why not. I know I'm just shifting around toys in this video, but like I said, this ain't no review either. This is just a man talking about something he loves, something he enjoyed. So, y'all be good and stay safe out there.